Porcelain is white, right? Sometimes I start looking at this white, and I wonder if my eyes are playing tricks on me. What is it hiding? What's the real trick? My perception of reality is being deceived. Is this one of those things that's lost down that memory hole? If it is, how do I know? This has Kaiser Sose written all over it. I started wondering about this curious thing and feeling some sort of imperial existential dread sink in. No pun intended. Is porcelain actually white? What is white exactly? And why does that question unravel our entire understanding of color, perception, and reality? Let me try to explain what I'm getting at here. The word porcelain comes from porcellana, a word used by Marco Polo to describe the smooth, lustrous pottery he saw near Glacier Bay, China. Porcellana literally refers to the cowrie shell, which has that same glossy, pale, almost glowing surface. In other words, porcelain was named after something that looked white, not something that was white. We base the entire identity of a material on a visual resemblance. A shell-based aesthetic judgment, which is most things that were named hundreds of years ago and just evolved into the modern English translation now. So even its name is a reminder, porcelain's whiteness is a visual trick, like an ace up the sleeve, not a material fact. Porcelain isn't a solid wall of whiteness. It's actually semi-translucent. Hold it up to the candlelight and it glows, because part of that light is traveling through the clay body. This is because porcelain is made of a very fine mixture of kaolin, the white clay, quartz, and feldspar. Fire that combo at around 2400 degrees Fahrenheit, and you get a mineral network so fine and tight that light can slip through in microscopic pockets. It's not a paint, it's not a pigment. It's a crystalline lattice playing optical ping pong. The Anchor Hawking of porcelain. This vitrification is applied to most rock-type elements in order to get a more solid construction. This is also what they think the ancients were doing to stones in places like Ollantaytambo in Peru. Which brings up an interesting question about how they were able to vitrify massive, megalithic blocks into structures. Not just there, but seemingly same techniques applied to stones all over the world. It raises more questions than answers, and honestly, it deserves its own video, which I plan to do soon. Anyway, why do things like porcelain look white? Riding in on a white horse to keep us confused. This is what scientists call Mie scattering, named after the German physicist Gustav Mie, which is a phenomenon where light hits tiny pinhole particles and freaks out in every direction. This is heavy in mathematics and electromagnetism, which I started to go cross-eyed after reading about it, so I won't go any further into it, but it does describe the reasons why clouds look white, also snow, sugar, and salt, all dancing to the same translucent crystal tune. Porcelain isn't white, it's light static. Every light source hits porcelain differently. Daylight, more blue. Incandescent bulbs, more yellow. Cheap LEDs, more green than anyone could ask for. And your refrigerator light, clinically depressing. Which means porcelain is basically the world's most charming chameleon. Here's the thing I'm driving at. If porcelain isn't actually white, then what is? Every white thing you own is lying. Printer paper? It's literally bathed in optical brighteners. Chemical UV reflectors that make it glow blue so your brain thinks it's white. Your white t-shirt? Dyed blue. They add a hint of blue so it looks cleaner, because pure white doesn't even exist in nature. What about snow? That's clear ice acting like a million tiny prisms. Sugar? Also clear crystalline prisms, but edible. Well, snow is edible, so this is more addicting. Salt, the same. And porcelain, not white. Just light being flung into your eyeballs with reckless abandon. We've built an entire category of color on the same logic as a gas station bathroom light bulb. If it's bright enough, good enough, moving on. Ugh. This also seems to be the wave of architectural and decorative throw-up that we've been seeing lately as well. The lack of color and shape and everything is turning our world around us into a grayscale, minimalist hellscape. Behind it are cultural and economical factors that are stripping away the vibrant, chaotic state of our nature. Ask yourself, America's already one giant strip mall. Why do we have to strip away what's left of it? Is this perspective calling to your inner dialogue? I hope so, because seriously, what's wrong with color and flourish? It's not economical enough? Well, it doesn't really exist, so why do we need to care? What I mean is, color is not a property of objects. Objects don't have color. Objects reject certain wavelengths, and whatever's left over crashes into your eyes. The world isn't colored. The world is reflective debris. This mug isn't white. It's just rejecting wavelengths in a way my brain interprets as whitish. Grass isn't green, the sky isn't blue, and porcelain isn't white. Those are the colors they refuse to absorb. We live in a universe of stubborn objects throwing back the wavelengths they don't want. And somehow, that's our definition of beauty. Opaqueness isn't a binary. It's not solid or see-through. It's a spectrum. Like most things, we have a scale. Porcelain sits in the uncanny middle zone. Opaque enough to seem solid, translucent enough to glow. Bone china glows more, stoneware glows less. But all of them manipulate light in slightly different ways, which is why a white mug from Target looks different from a white plate from Japan, looks different from a white bowl from your grandmother's house that you're not allowed to microwave unless you want to see heaven. So if porcelain isn't white, just structured translucency pretending to be a solid, what else are we mislabeling? How many things in our lives do we call white, true, simple, or obvious, when they're actually complicated little illusions operating on scattered light and belief? When we start to look at the microscopic parts that make up the whole, we see a dense and robust world made upon other structures. It's like when Magritte says this is not a pipe. Our perception is made up of a bunch of tiny parts. You break down these structures and you can see how everything functions. Maybe that's what it's all about. Our world is never about the whole. It's about the parts. It's beyond our perception. Our collective memory just forgets this and goes along with the lies. The truth is, there is no memory. There is no whole. Porcelain isn't white. Porcelain isn't white. It's light static. And porcelain isn't white. It's not a paint you saw near Glacier Bay, China. It's not a pigment. Hold it up to the candlelight and it glows. It's a visual trick. Like an ace up the sleeve. This mug isn't white, not a material fact. What is it hiding? What is it hiding? Feeling some sort of imperial, existential
Riding
dread
in on a white horse
the
to
anchor
keep us
hocking of
confused.
porcelain.
Lost down
Porcelain
that
is
memory
white.
hole.
Right? And just like that, poof,